Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, we're gonna learn about C Sharp, and I'm gonna tell you about the basics of C Sharp in this video, how to take input from the user and output, the basic hello world program, the data types, string, functions, and much more. So let's get started. Now, the first thing we do in order to open a C Sharp project, what we do is we go to the file, new project, and we'll select Visual C Sharp, and from here we'll select console application, click OK to that, and there you go. Now in order to study C Sharp, I must but it's not recommended that you should know all the language. If you're a beginner programmer, then you can start from right here, but I'll recommend you to watch my C++ videos. So those videos are pretty much the prerequisites in order to watch this C Sharp tutorial series. And if you have watched those C++ videos, I must recommend you to also watch the Java videos, so in order to get the concept of OOP. But it's okay, and if you have watched already those videos, so it would be a revision, because all those concepts, the OOP concepts, the basic programming logics, I'm gonna revise in this video. So take a chill pill and just sit back and relax and watch what I'm gonna do. Now the one thing I'm gonna have to show you, that if you click file, new project, so you can pretty much change the namespace of your project. So by default, I think I first time opened the C Sharp in this specific computer, so that's why I didn't change the name. So you can change this name, like here it's console application 1, and by default if you open another instance of this new project, so by default it's console application 2. So you can pretty much type your name XYZ whatever, so it would be, as long as the new project would be created, so this name would be over here as XYZ. So you can do that also, but I'm not gonna have to do that. Now the namespace of your project is pretty much, the namespace, if my namespace is console application 1, so, and if I'm build like several functions that are useful, so I can use this namespace in some other project as well, so in order to inherit those functions which I have built. So I don't have actually much useful functions over here, it's just an empty project. So the concept of namespace in C Sharp is like, I have my developer friend who has developed a lot of functions and I want to use their functions. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna have to know the namespace of their project. So let's say if I type here friend, so I can use all of my friends functions. So since I do not have any of those, so I'll stick to this console application 1. So in easy words, if you have your any other developer friends function and you want to use their functions, you just have to type the name of their namespace. Long story short. Now the thing is, we have our main right over here, so, and the main is inside our class. Now remember, all the functions in the class are, we can all define them over outside the main and we can use them in the main, just like we did in C++. So main is actually where your functions get called, and your class is, the class boundary is that boundary in which you can build all the functions. So main is where you call all the functions, and class is where you build all the functions, and you later on create the object of those functions and call it in the main. Now what are objects and what are functions? If you don't know, you'll get to know in a while. So your patience is required for that. Now another important thing is this word is static right here. So whatever functions I'm gonna build inside the main, I'm not gonna have to create the objects of those functions. So static means whenever you use the static keyword, you do not have to create the object, whether you're in Java, whether you're in C++, whether you're in C#. I don't know about the other languages at this moment, but static means no object creation is required if the static keyword is used. Now void means that this function does not return a value. Now it may be an int, we can type int right here, but int functions usually return a value like 1 or -1. So void means it doesn't return anything, it just executes, plain and simple. Now the thing is, one more thing I forgot to tell you, if you're using int right here and the program successfully runs, so it returns 0. Return 0 means that your program and all the code has executed successfully, fine and dandy. And if it returns -1, that means an error persists. So that thing I have to tell you. So let's just come back to void and do our stuff. Now the string args, this thing, what this thing means is that your main function is going to receive values of strings. It's an array that will deal with strings, so just keep it to that, because this bracket right here means that it's an array that is taking strings. So multiple values are being stored in a string array. Now what I'm gonna do is the very first line of code, well actually not the very first line of code because all these are theoretically system generated, but practically my first line would be console.writeLine, console dot writeLine. Now what you do is you can also do console.write, or you can also do like this, console.writeLine. Hold on a second, now you can actually see that writeLine means if you do the writeLine, you do not have to explicitly change the line, so your cursor will be placed automatically on the next line. And if you do the write, then your cursor will be on the same line, just similar to end L in C++ or \n in C++ and in Java. So we'll get to that in a while, it will be clear once I type this. So for the moment I'll type console.writeLine. Now I'm gonna open my brackets with a semicolon, and inside those brackets I'm gonna type hello world, or this is my first program, or whatever the heck you wanna type. And in order to run this program, I'm gonna do is, I'm so excited, but before I run, I would say that what I'm assuming that the console screen is gonna appear and vanish. So I'm gonna have to stop my console. So in order to stop the console, what I'm have to do is console.readLine, and this particular line of code, what it will do, it will stop the console and my code will be executed up till here, and until and unless I press the enter button, it is not gonna close the console. So let me just hit F5, and there you go, hello world over here. Now one cool thing about this console is that you can change all the things in these console. Color, my favorite color is this thing right here, and there you go, you can customize your console also with properties. You can also do like create small GUI stuff with that. You can change the width, height, font and options and colors and all that. Okay, so this was your pretty much the hello world tutorial of C#. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Share this video and give it a thumbs up, and see you until next time. And don't forget to check my website www.talhastudios.com.